I think the immigration thing is interesting, isn't it? Because of course all the bleeding heart liberals are saying, oh, he's Welsh and all that crap. Remember, we were told he was Welsh for a while, and then but what do you got?
It's Christmas at the moment.
Yeah.
Jesus was born in a stable. Doesn't make him a horse.
Yes.
And if you come into my country and you kill my people, we're going to hunt you around the world and we're going to kill every motherfucking one of you. We're going to blow up your phones, your pages, we're going to bomb you.
Down to number 3 and number 3 of your villains of 2024, Nick.
Yes, this one is probably on your list. Which will be Axel. I'm an Islamic nutcase, ungrateful that this country gave my family asylum status, and to pay back everybody I'll go kill 3 girls. So that guy.
Yeah. Axel Rudakubana.
Yeah, I just don't like, I don't want to give myself, expend the energy on trying to remember his surname.
No, but I think it's important to have his name, because the name, people need to know his name and revile his name, I think. Because,
I agree.
You know, so I've spent time trying to make sure I can pronounce his surname, for that matter.
Yeah.
Because otherwise everybody goes, oh, it's that bloke, Axel, whatever. So I think we need to know his name.
That's a very good point. I'm going to learn his name now. It's a very good point.
Rudakubana.
Rudakubana.
It's quite easy, actually.
Yeah.
Rudakubana.
Yeah. So my number 3rd choice for villain is Axel Rudakubana.
Yes.
The scumbag who it looks like he killed 3 young girls, young children at a dance studio in the summer in Southport. He is the poster child of why we need to end mass immigration.
Yes.
He himself was born in Wales to 2 parents who were asylum seekers, I believe, but came from Rwanda. So people argued, well, he's not an immigrant. Well, he's an immigrant.
Yeah.
He's just a 2nd generation immigrant. Yeah. He has no European blood in him. He has no British blood in him. He was raised by immigrants. He's an immigrant. That is not necessarily a slur. Nothing wrong in being an immigrant. My dad was an immigrant. Your dad was an immigrant.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a slur. It's just factually true. He's shown us that mass immigration doesn't work, and for a litany of reasons. The first one is we have no idea who we're importing. We've imported a strain of mental health illness with his family. People, the vast majority of people, not the vast, a hell of a lot of people in Rwanda were involved in the genocide, killing each other with machetes. It wasn't just a few thousand people, it was a population chopping their neighbours up. There's a very good chance his family were probably involved, because lots and lots of Rwandans were involved. Do you remember me telling you about the guy who was the star of Hotel Rwanda?
Yes, who's now been arrested for being involved in the Rwanda
genocide. Turns out I was wrong.
All right. Okay.
He was arrested. It was all to do with fraud and stuff like that.
Right.
I must have got mixed up and thought it was connected. It wasn't connected to that at all. So I'm glad that came up.
So can you retract the legal case that's now
against you? No, but I'll see you in court.
Yeah,
So Axel has opened the UK up, the consciousness up to it's okay to not want immigration.
Yes.
Because he's the poster child boy now of this. Who wants to import nutcases?
Yeah.
Who wants to import people that we feel sorry for, but then pay us back like this? Just like the guy who blew up the Manchester Arena.
Yeah.
We gave his family asylum from Colonel Gaddafi. They came here. We raised their child. He went to English schools. We gave him the best of Britain. And what did he do? He repaid us by blowing up and killing 22 people.
With explosives paid for by benefits paid by this government to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he is a villain. But like most villains, they open up the eyes of the populace to show us what's going on.
It's an interesting point, isn't it? He is a villain. But he's also, in some ways, been a positive force in terms of opening people's eyes to the horrors of immigration and what we're seeing with immigration as well. I think the immigration thing is interesting, isn't it? Because of course all the bleeding heart liberals are saying, oh, he's Welsh and all that crap. Remember, we were told he was Welsh for a while, and then but what do you got?
It's Christmas at the moment.
Yeah.
Jesus was born in a stable. Doesn't make him a horse.
Yes. Thank you for that really good parallel. But the point about this kid, Axel Rudakubana, he is a product of immigration. But immigration now is different to what it was when my father came here, when people like my father integrated into society, married an English woman, and we were raised as he was an Englishman at heart, and we were raised as English people with English culture. What's happening now is people are coming to this country like the Rwandans, like his parents, not integrating into society, having children who don't integrate into society. And we see this massively in the Asian and the Muslim community as well. But then worse than that, embracing an ideology, a religion that is now gathering momentum in this country and shouldn't be gathering momentum, which is Islam basically as well. So it was there's like a double whammy of immigration there. First of all, he's an immigrant family, and the second thing is he embraced an ideology that we've allowed to fester in this country as well. So this idea that he's not an immigrant is absolute bollocks at the end of the day. He's actually a product of two elements of immigration, and what we're seeing are the bad parts of immigration in this country, and it has opened people's eyes. So I think you're right. But he is a villain, but he's also somebody who's given us clarity on this immigration issue as well. So that's a good one.
Let me push back a little bit on the idea that decades ago we had good immigration and now we've got bad immigration. The immigration times of your father and my father was not good immigration. The people didn't want it then. It may not have been as bad as it is now, and some of those people may have fitted into our culture better than a lot of the people now, but it wasn't wanted then. They brought their own problems. They just weren't as big as it is now. So the problem of mass immigration starting after the Second World War has been an incline. Our fathers turned up when the incline was quite small, and the numbers were quite small.
Numbers are very small.
But the people who lived alongside our fathers didn't want our fathers in the country, and probably rightly so. It was their country. We were never asked, did we want our fathers to come to this country? Nobody was ever asked. It was forced upon us. But the problem has got worse and worse and worse and worse. We need to get away from thinking that the problem now is just a new problem over the last couple of decades. We need to stop thinking this problem is just a Muslim problem or an Indian subcontinent problem. This is a problem of all immigration because we've never managed it, and we've never asked migrants who've come here, we've never told them what the rules were of this country and what we expect of them living here. We allowed them to do whatever they wanted to do.
I think we did in the 50s and 60s. So when you said immigration hasn't been managed, I'd agree. In the last 10 years, it hasn't been managed.
Ever.
I would have said when my father arrived, it was managed, even though it may not have been managed officially. I think the immigrants then did integrate into our society, embraced a lot of the British culture. I think the problem is now the sheer volume and also the way it's been managed means there's no integration. So we're getting people living in silos, cultures, and like we talk about Somalis, we talk about Pakistanis, they all live in their own societies and with their own cultures now, don't they?
That was happening when we were kids.
Not to the extent it is now.
But that's all down to numbers.
Yes,
so
correct.
We had the same problems then, but things have got worse because the numbers are just horrendous now. The problem is mass immigration. The problem isn't the time period now, who the migrants are necessarily. It's a problem of mass immigration.
That's an interesting view, I suppose. That it's always been an issue, but it's not affected us that badly because it's been. I think the problem is now it's highly visible to everybody.
Well, my uncles have told me, in the 60s, all my dad's brothers obviously were Irish. They've told me stories of no blacks, no dogs, no Irish.
Yes.
Blacks and Irish weren't wanted in the 60s.
Yeah, or dogs.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, I didn't have Axel Rudakubana on my list. I don't know why the hell I've missed him off. I didn't think about it enough, but I think it's a really good choice. So I'm glad we're going through your choices. So, number 3 hero. We're heading towards this.
Number 3.
It's the villains we're worried about. Yeah.
Number 3. The number 3. This one won't be on your list.
It might be.
Number 3 hero is another president.
Javier Milei.
No. President, I'm going to have to read his name because I would struggle with his name. His name is...
It's such a well-known hero you can't even pronounce his name. Yeah.
President... My stutter's coming back. President Netanyahu.
Oh, Netanyahu,
That's the name.
the Israeli president.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
He's my hero, number 3 on the list. Not for the reasons most people are already thinking about now. So some of our listeners,
we're going to lose all our free Palestine.
So
listeners.
some of our listeners will be going, I can't believe that Nick Buckley. He's a Jewish shill. He's a Zionist. He's a this. He's that. Oh, he always pretended he was non-globalist. He's been. I'm being paid by no one, by the way. But if the Jews want to send me some money, I'll take it. He's on my list for one specific reason. I'm not a Zionist. I don't care if Israel stays or goes. I don't care. I don't care if the Palestinian people stay or go. I don't care about foreigners. I just don't care about people on other continents. I don't care.
If you don't care, why are you including him then?
For this reason. Because here is a leader of a country who went, my job is to protect my people.
That's true. Yeah.
My job is to kill my enemies. And if you come into my country and you kill my people, we're going to hunt you around the world and we're going to kill every motherfucking one of yous. We're going to blow up your phones, your pages, we're going to bomb you. I don't care if it kills you and your 10 children because I want you dead. And your children are collateral damage and I don't care. They're the leaders we need in the West. They're the leaders who go, my citizens first. And you mess with me and I'm going to kill you all. And that's why he is number 3 on my list.
And that's a really interesting point. He's not on my list, you're right. That's a really interesting point, isn't it? Because the very thing that we applauded after 9/11, which was that America taking a stance against the Middle East and Iraq and all that, the very thing that was applauded by the Americans and the West has been decried because Netanyahu's done it. And that's partially because of the Jewish thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure our more sophisticated readers will tell me why that parallel isn't worth having, but it's a really good point. You know, part of the reason Trump has been embraced is because he wants to look after American people and protect American people. And that the chief exec of Palantir, I think it was talking about people want to feel safe. They want to go home and they want to feel safe in their country, which is what Trump is offering. And that's all Netanyahu's doing, isn't it? He's protecting his people, trying to make them feel safe.
40 years ago, we sent basically an armada to the South Atlantic to rescue 200 British citizens who lived on the Falklands who'd been invaded.
Yeah.
And I think we lost 140 odd men on that. And we were successful by the skin of our teeth because lots of things were going wrong and it was so far away. And Thatcher was declared a hero. We had celebrations that would beat Argentina, reclaim the Falklands. Roll on 40 years. Our Prime Minister at the moment is trying to give away British land in the Indian Ocean. And most of the country is saying, yeah, give it away, we don't want it. That's how much the country's changed in 40 years.
Yeah.
That we've sent young British white men to die for people who live 8,000 miles away, where now we're quite willing to give stuff away because I don't want to fight for it, I don't want to cause a problem. We need a leader like the Israelis have got at the moment who go, no, this is ours, and in fact if you keep messing around we'll invade you and we'll take your land and then you'll be part of greater Israel. I ain't got a problem with Israel expanding because I don't care if they do and I don't care if they don't and I don't care if the Arabs wipe Israel off the map. I don't care. It's not my fight. Survival of the fittest, the strongest will survive. So I admire him for what he's doing for the Israeli people.
Okay, that's very good. I think the analysis is good. I think the sentiment is good. Whether he's a UK hero of 2024, I'm not too sure.
Well, I think he's a British hero because I think we all should be looking at him and going, that's the sort of leader we need.
Yeah.
We need a patriot. We need someone who will die for this country. We need someone who will put this country first. We need someone who will put our soldiers in harm's way for the benefit of this country.
So he's a hero because in the UK we need to look to people like this as setting an example.
Just like Trump.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that, Trump.